A Father's Grief is on full display in The Thing with Feathers, starring Emmy winner Benedict Cumberbatch, Oscar nominee. Benedict, what do people need to know about this movie before they go see it in theaters?
Not a lot. Just go and see it. Have the experience. Grief is a universal experience that we all have. It's part of the human condition. And know that it's made with love. It's an independent film, and it will be a cathartic experience and hopefully give you hope in the sense that this is something which is best dealt with when it's accommodated and accepted as being a necessary part of our lives rather than something we can neatly get through, the stages of to some kind of resolution. It's from a beautiful, beautiful novella. So if you really want to do your research, read the original book called Grief is the Thing with Feathers. But it's a misquote purposely by brilliant Max Porter of the Emily Dickinson quote, which is hope is the thing with feathers. So this really is a salvationary story, despite the depth of investigation into this crazed family experience of grief where the mother is lost and the father is raising two sons in the first year after her loss. And it's an examination of male grief. It's a lens particularly on the kind of genderization we have with feelings and emotions, and in particular grief. And I think it's a rare thing to have that front and center in our culture. So, yeah.
It is very rare, like you said. And how do you put yourself through the trauma that this character is going through and separate yourself once filming is done?
It's interesting. Usually I have to do quite a lot of deep work to get into something. This is very immediate for me, this film. It is a very universal theme, and I've lived a bit and I've experienced grief, not in this particular form, but it doesn't matter. It's about loss. And for me, on the day, it was about creating an entire world and story that was no longer there. I mean, the wife is purposely very, very absent. Mum, as she's called, and as I'm called dad, and the boys are called boys. And the idea behind that is that this is an iterative drama. Yes, it's me, but it could be any man. It could be any child. It could be, the gender could be swapped as well. It could be a mum losing a father. It's about what happens to the family structure and what it is to go through this experience with children. And it is for me, it was about placing her within the set so that when you're seeing what he's going through, it's this whole story that's not there for the audience is very there for me as an actor. And in those moments you start to grieve what's not there. You start to feel it, and it hurts, just hurts. But sometimes things would just blindside me and take me by surprise. It's worse when it says he weeps in the script, but there were moments where he folds her clothes and puts them in boxes, and the act of doing that was just, it's anyone who's been through this knows what that is, and the finality of it, the things that you hold on to that you're eventually saying goodbye. It's another form of separation. It floored me, and then just responding to everything that's there, these extraordinary children that never acted before, Henry and Richard, which we'll get onto. But and then just my main point of care actually was just pushing it all the way at the end of the day and going back into my reality as fast as possible. So it was a very quick delayering and an important one. It was about taking care of myself.
I'm so glad you explained that, how these characters don't have names because anyone can put themselves in these shoes.
That's the idea, and even in the book, there are these blank pages. It's an amazingly formed piece of literature. And listen, your viewers, it really is like an hour and a half, 2 hours read. It's a really punchy, thin volume. It contains profound multitudes in it. And there are these spacings, literal spacings, like blank pages or blanks in the line. And yes, they are beats in a story. It's to do with the form of how you encounter it, but they're also, as Max says himself, they're places for you to then fill in your imagination and have that feeling of association with what you just read, fill the blank page.
It's such riveting storytelling. You will feel the grief that all these people feel. In this Crow, the voice that you come, we know this, David Thewlis, Emmy nominee as well. Like, he's so terrific as this, even though you don't see him on camera. Yeah. What was that like, kind of building that relationship with him? Because he's a very real character in this too.
He is. It was extraordinary. He was after the fact. So we had this incredible physical actor, called Eric Lampere, who was in the Crow suit on stilts. And we always thought, I individually and also Dylan, we had David's voice from the Mike Leigh film Naked. That was always in our minds. this sort of dry northern Mancunian drawl. Like, I did a very bad Mancunian accent, forgive me, Manchester, but it needs work. And Eric, who was playing him on the set, did a better impersonation than that of David. So it was a bit peculiar. He's got an animatronic head that's going as all the eyes move, and all the brilliance of the puppet workshops, the puppet workshop, Animal Inc., who made it, was controlling it and making it come alive. Him under it, it was weighing a ton, so he had to have a break every 2 or 3 minutes. And the slightly stuck together analog, not so brilliant part of it, which is where it comes from. This film, it's not about CGI. It's really about a man who draws, and that kind of scratching ink creature coming out of the page and coming alive in a very real but sort of creature workshop kind of a way. And it was bizarre. It was very bizarre. So my acting with David was through an impersonation from him in amongst all the mess of this creation in front of me. But knowing it was going to be him was it was pretty cool.
Another terrific performance from Benedict Cumberbatch. No surprise. The Thing with Feathers in theaters November 28th. Thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you.